Hey everybody, it's just me making another video. I'm back after taking a break away from making videos. Today this is just gonna be me making a new video about the my top 10 best wrestling stables of all time, the top 10 best stables in wrestling, like the best stables like the NWO and other stables like that kind of ruled wrestling since the future of stables are sort of died out, and you got stables that sort of are rehashes from other stables. I thought I'd do a video just giving you my top 10 list of some of the best stables of all time. Well, my top 10 list of the best stables, just in my opinion. But before I get to that, gotta say, yesterday really didn't really have a really good week. Good day yesterday as I tried to order Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but really I didn't get the points or it didn't download and it's still pending, so that sucks. And then today was a really weird day as I saw Michael Jackson's dad at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, and he was just walking around like it was no other, like it was just a normal day. So pretty interesting and funny day. But yeah, getting to this video, wanted to get a top 10 like I said. Send me your Q&A questions for the next Q&A because that's coming towards the end of the next month, and also send me some more video requests as I'll do any video you want me to request. And please, yeah, I'll do any video review requests, so just send me your video requests and I'll be sure to get to them as best I can. But let's get to this video. We start off at number 10. I got Revolution. Now, if you don't know who Revolution is, it was a group that consisted of guys who were really held down in WCW, and these guys just formed a group to sort of step up to the older veterans, because storyline wise, it was guys who were sort of taking over the WCW and they weren't throwing a bone to the young guys. So these were just sort of guys who formed a stable to sort of revolt against that. It consisted of Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, and I believe there was somebody else added to it, maybe Asia, and I think that was it. And all these four guys were just joined together to stop the reign of Ric Flair, I believe, storyline wise, and try to dethrone him and try to get themselves known and noticed. This was a very good stable when it first started, as these guys were having good matches against the Triad, and they were revolting against Ric Flair and having a storyline against him. And then of course WCW sort of effed it up with them having them turn heel against the Filthy Animals, which was a very good storyline, by the way. But when they had them turn heel, it sort of felt like WCW had these guys sort of do the opposite of what they were trying to do by having them hold other younger guys down, and that's what kind of hurt this stable a little bit. But still, it was a very good stable. Really enjoyed this stable, and that's why I got this stable at number 10. Is it was just a very good stable, and it had some interesting storylines as well with this stable. Number 9, I got the Flock. Very good stable. These guys were led by the leader, Raven. It consisted of guys who were just troubled and guys who were like lost souls, and they just went to Raven to kind of bring them to reality, and they were just buying and trusting everything that Raven was telling them. So these guys would just join together to sort of create a revolution to keep guys from being unhappy and make people suffer just like they suffered. And it was very interesting. They were feuding with guys like DDP. Well, yeah, DDP. They were feuding with guys like Chris Benoit. Then they were feuding with guys like the Cruiserweights, and it was just a very interesting stable, and it led to a lot of good matches and a lot of memorable feuds, and also had Canyon involved in it as they were feuding with him, and he eventually turned heel and joined with them, and thus the stable just sort of ran over WCW, sort of. But the one thing that sort of killed them and made people not care about them was the fact that they had the NWO sort of overtake them, and NWO just sort of killed any momentum the Flock had, to the point where many people didn't care about them. But still, this was a very good stable, Really enjoyed the stable, and that's one of the reasons why I got it at number 9. Number 8, I got the Nation of Domination. This, you can, I guess, count the original Nation of Domination or the new Nation. The original one was where they had D'Lo Brown, Farouk, PG-13, I believe, and other guys that, yeah, Kamu Mustafa, and that was just a very interesting stable as they were just sort of dominating and revolting against the white man and other guys like that. It was storyline wise, and they were just trying to, I guess, reign over the WWE and trying to make sure that the guys, the race of them were going to get pushed and they were going to get looked at and talked about. And then, of course, it expanded when they added The Rock, Owen Hart. Of course, you had D'Lo Brown, The Godfather, and who else was in there? Mark Henry was added in there, and this was just a very dominant stable as they were just running roughshod over the WWF in 1998. Before the corporation even came, this was one of the top stables in the WWF, and they feuded with guys like DX. They feuded with the Hart Foundation before. They had a brief mini feud with the Hart Foundation, but their most known feud was with DX, as it led to good matches with every single one of the members of DX and Nation. Like, you had X-Pac and D'Lo Brown feud over the belt, over the European title. You had The Rock and Triple H feud over the Intercontinental title, which led to 2 or 3 matches between the two. You also had Mark Henry and China feud, which led to that sexual harassment storyline, which was pretty interesting and led to Mark Henry becoming sexual chocolate. And it also led to some other big things, and that this is why this was one of the best stables in wrestling, as many people hated them, and they got so much heel heat based off the Rock being heel, and then them just dominating the WWF with their the storyline that they were having with DX, and that's one of the reasons why I got them at number 8. Number 7 is the $1 Million Corporation. Very good stable. It consisted of $1 Million Man. It had King Kong Bundy. It had Bam Bam Bigelow. It had Tatanka, who recently turned heel when that stable was formed, and it had other guys, and they were just running roughshod over the WWF by trying to buy guys and have guys sell out just to join this corporation. And this corporation was sort of one of the this corporation was sort of one of the big things going on around that time, because let's face it, during 1995 when the stable was formed, really you didn't really have any top heels at the time or any heel that was sort of making you talk. But when you had the $1 Million Corporation come in, it sort of just had people talking, who was going to join the corporation next, and who was going to be the one to sell out, and who was going to be the one to sort of be the leader of this group. And that's what sort of made this group, as it had people talking, had some interesting storylines. They were feuding with some of the WWF superstars like Shawn Michaels and Lex Luger and other guys like that. And that's one of the reasons why I got this stable at number 7, as it was just a dominant stable, and it just tried to run roughshod over the WWF by trying to buy its superstars and have them turn and sell out. And that's one of the reasons why I got it at number 7. Number 6, I got the Heenan family. This stable consisted of Bobby the Brain Heenan as the leader and trying to convince other guys to join this group. From what I remember, some of the superstars that were in this group, I remember Andre the Giant was in there. I remember the Brainbusters were another group that was in this group. You had Rick Rude, who was in there, Mr. Perfect, who was in there, and I believe there was other guys who I really can't think of. Oh yeah, Barbarian, Haku, and it was just a stable that just ran roughshod over the WWF, and they were feuding with Hulk Hogan to try to get the belt off of him. They were feuding with Ultimate Warrior. They were feuding with other guys like that, and this was just a very interesting stable, as the stable was just trying to keep the belt off of Hulk Hogan and other guys like that and try to make a name for itself off of that. But really what hurt this stable, a little bit was the fact that guys like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior were sort of dominating them, sort of making them look like jobbers, and that's what sort of hurt them. But still got them on this list, and they're one of my top 10, one of the stables